Hello friends, this is Judy Tuttle from Midland, Texas. I'm excited to be with you today. I am excited to show you some beautiful cards made with the Comfort and Faith stamp set and a little bit from our Petal Park stamp set. We're going to be using some beautiful colors that come from the Countryside Lane Designer Series paper, which is currently on sale. And I'm going to talk to you about some upcoming events and classes going on. So I'm going to give you just a minute to get logged on here. And I am going to refresh my computer so that I can see you and your comments. There we go. I hope everyone is doing well. As you can hear by my voice, I'm struggling a little bit again with my health. I spent the morning at the doctor today, and they think it might just be Midland allergies. I haven't had allergies in a very long time, maybe since I lived in Texas before. But it seems to be like that may be the problem. So anyway, I spent the morning, all they did is tell me I have allergies and that maybe I need to take some allergy medicine and that sort of thing. So I am hoping that we get to the bottom of this. So we made some beautiful cards last week for our online class to go, and I want to thank all of you that placed orders so that you can get this kit. I love these cards. We made this thank you card, and it had those pretty flowers at the bottom there, and we made this birthday card, which was super fun. And the inside had that little leaf design on it right there. Isn't that lovely? And then the Hello Friend card. And so I promised that one person would be chosen from people who commented either here or on my YouTube page or shared out. And I put everybody's names in a hat, and Kathy Maddox was the winner. So pretty sure I have Kathy's address, so I will send these out to Kathy here in the next couple of days. Be sure to comment throughout my video and tell me where you're from, and then that way I can choose your name out of the hat for the cards that we're making today. I can't wait to show them to you. So in case you didn't know, there are some really great reasons why you should join a team right now, and I would love to have you join my team. I share the biggest reason to join is that you get a 20% off on all of the orders you place while you are considered to be a qualified demonstrator. Then I share all my PDFs with my team. We have a great team. I've been Zooming in with them for team meetings this last month, and I'm so excited about the community and the positivity that we have on our team. If you're interested in being part of a team, I would love you to consider the Tuttle Up Stampers as your team, and you can message me, and I'd be happy to get a hold of you. The biggest reason is to get that 20% discount for as long as you want. You don't have to do Facebook Lives. You don't have to have parties. You don't have to do anything more than just make your own purchases if that's what you want. But then sometimes it's fun to have people over and stamp with them and make some beautiful things together, build your own community. So that is totally up to you. So if you're interested in being a part of a team, let me know, and I'd be happy to talk to you about that. We also have a Designer Series paper sale going on right now, 15% off a select group. It's most of the Designer Series papers that are in the current annual catalog, and you'll get to see the beautiful Countryside Lane cards that we are making today using the Comfort and Faith stamp set and the Petal Park stamp set. Okay, so with that being said, one more thing. I'm going to start doing Zoom nights every other Monday night. It's going to start tonight. I will add a Zoom link to this Tuttle Up page. Hi, Becky. I'll add a Zoom link, and if you would like to pop in and just chat a bit and craft a bit. It will be tonight from 7 to about 8:30, and it's just a time for us to build community via Zoom, and anyone can come, whether you're a customer or a demonstrator on somebody else's team. I don't care. It's going to be all about just having fun, stamping and crafting together, and sharing the things that we make while we're having community together. So I will add that Zoom link to my Tuttle Up page and my customer page here in just a bit. And if you would like to pop in tonight, I would be happy and thrilled to have you come and be a part of that evening. Okay, so I'm going to turn my camera down and around. Let me flip it over here. Sorry if you close your eyes for a minute if you get dizzy when demonstrators do this. I have never had that problem, but some of you do, I know. Okay, there we go. All right, how is that looking for all of you? I hope that looks great. Okay, so this week's host code is 9RSB6RRE. That is the host code you should use if you're going to place an online order and get a kit to make 6 of these cards for free. Your order has to be at least $35 to get the kit for free. If you purchase 50 or more, I throw in an embellishment package with that kit for you to enjoy. So think about doing that. I love doing these online classes. They're just so much fun. And if you love the kit and would love to get one, you just need to place an order. Now, a lot of people have been asking me about the PDFs. Can I just get the PDFs? Yes, you can. If you would like a PDF only, email me at judyltuttle@gmail.com. I would be happy to invoice you $10 for the PDF only. Now, PDFs take me a couple of hours for each online class to make. I got to verify all the measurements, make sure all the colors and everything are right. So I feel like at $10 is worth it to get your PDF, and then I will email your PDF to you. So if you think you would only like the PDF, email me at judyltuttle@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to get a PDF to you. All right, so it looks like we're going to have a fewer people here today. If you're here, let me know, and then that always makes me feel like I'm not doing this in vain. My friend Becky Phelps is here. I'm so excited about that. Thanks, Becky. Okay, so we are using 2 stamp sets. The main star of the show is going to be this stamp set called Courage and Faith. I loved this stamp set. Hi, Dana. I loved this stamp set from the moment I saw it. I love the scripture sayings in it and these pretty little floral bows, I guess is what you would call it. This is a $1 million stamp set, and my friend Natalie Travis, who lives in California, just earned her $1 million award, and this is the stamp set that she designed. When you reach $1,000 in sales, Stampin' Up! Allows you to design a stamp set that reflects who you are, and I just love this one. She has such a heart for God and such a strong faith, and it's not surprising at all to me that this is the stamp set that she designed. So I hope you love the cards that I made with this, and I hope that I honor Natalie with the cards that I make for this too. For this first card, I'm also throwing in the Petal Park stamp set. This is a stamp set that comes with a punch that cuts out flowers and leaves, but today we're just using the stamp set, not the punch with it. Okay, so this is our first card, Be of Good Courage, and that is where I'm using that Petal Park, those flowers. If you got this class to go and you didn't have the Petal Park, then you could use any other floral. I just thought the Petal Park flowers and leaves really mimic well the flowers and leaves that are in the Countryside Lane Designer Series paper that I'm using today. Okay, so I'm going to start with a piece of Night of Navy. Cardstock is cut 5.5 by 8.5 and scored down the middle at 4 1/4. And then I have a piece of Designer Series paper and a balmy blue panel to go behind it. The balmy blue panel is 5 1/4 by 3.5. 5 1/4 by 3.5. And then my DSP is cut 5 by 3 1/4. Isn't that fun with the cute little foxes on there? I just love this Designer Series paper. These blues kind of remind me of Delft. Is it called Delft pottery from Dutch pottery? That's the Delft blue. I just really love it. So I'm going to add my Designer Series paper panel to my balmy blue panel here. And then I'm just going to attach that to my card front. The balmy blue is, Becky, 5 1/4 by 3.5. 5 1/4 by 3.5. And then the Designer Series paper is 3 1/4 by 5. All right, so there we go. That's my card front. And then I have some pre-cut pieces here. I have 2 circles that come from the Stitched Circles dies, stitched shape dies. And you guys, I have 2 sets of these because I use them so much, especially for classes. But the really nice thing is that you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layering circles, 5 layering squares, a couple of banners that are skinnier and longer, and then a couple of banners that are shorter and wider. Okay, so I used 2 circles, and the 2 circles I used were the second to the largest and then the next size down. So I cut the second to the largest out with balmy blue. It is, let me tell you the diameter of this one. It's about 2.5 inches in diameter. And then I cut a basic white out of the next size down. And it is about 2 1/4. 2 1/4. Yep, 2 1/4 inches in diameter. Okay, so on my piece of white here, I'm going to take out my foam mat. The die set, this die set, Dana, is called Stylish Shaped Stitched Die. Stylish Shapes. And I use it almost every day. That's how much I love it. Okay, so I'm going to take out my more solid flowers from the Petal Park, and I'm going to stamp them in Misty Moonlight. So the blues that are in this paper are Misty Moonlight, Night of Navy, Balmy Blue, Boho Blue, and Misty Moonlight. Did I say that already? Oh, Pool Party, I think, but very little Pool Party. I really think the other colors kind of pop out a little more. Okay, so I'm going to stamp my flowers. They're going to go off the edge. That's okay. And then using my Balmy Blue, I'm going to fill in with the leaves from that Petal Park stamp set. And these leaves are the leaves, so there's 2 leaves. There's leaves that are more detailed and leaves that are more solid. I am using the more solid leaves on this one. I don't know how you don't have it either, Dana. I couldn't live without it personally. Okay, and you'll see how these leaves just kind of fit right in between these flowers. You might have to turn a little bit. But there you go. Probably should have put a piece of paper underneath that so it doesn't get on my foam mat. But That's okay. So there is my circle, okay? And can you see how it like matches the flowers in here so well? That's why I chose that Petal Park stamp set to make the flowers, okay? I am going to just attach this on top of my Balmy Blue circle. Like that. And then I am going to pop this up right here on this edge. So I'm going to use some dimensionals. So I had a lot of people visiting last week. Jim's sister came for a couple of days to help me with some decorating around the house. She is so amazing at what she does. So I feel like I got a lot done with that. And then, okay, I'm pulling out a piece of basic white, and I have cut this to 2 inches by 1 1/4 inches. 2 inches by 1 1/4 inches, okay? And I am using the stamp set that says Be of Good Courage. This is really good, maybe for someone who's going through a tough time, facing some trials, just needs a little encouragement. So I'm gonna, sorry, my head might get in the camera here a second. I'm gonna stamp that in Misty Moonlight ink right there on that basic white 2 inch by 1 1/4 inch panel, okay? Then I'm gonna attach that to a piece of, what is that in there? No. Piece of Balmy Blue, and I know I cut it, here it is. And this is just a little bit bigger. So this is 2 1/4, well, it looks like it's 2 1/8 by 1 3/8. 2 1/8 by 1 3/8. And now I'm gonna put that white panel right there on top of it. Oh, look, I got the ink from my pad on there, so I'm gonna have to stamp that over again. So let me, be of good courage, Judy. Don't get upset. Okay, I'm gonna stamp that again in Misty Moonlight. That's what I get for not putting a piece of paper underneath there, right? Okay, so I'm going to stamp this right here. There we go. Then I'm going to cut it to the size I need using my cute little, this was a free gift for people joining a couple of years ago, and everybody loved it. I'm glad I didn't. I need to go this way. 2 1/8 by 1 3/8 right there. Comes in really handy when I do silly things like that, and it's really good for smaller pieces. But now I'm kind of rubbing that in your face since you can't get it any longer, so sorry about that. All right, so Be of Good Courage is gonna fit right inside that. You know what? I think I need to cut that white down just a smidgen more. Then maybe a smidgen more this way. Smidgen. All right. So this white piece should end up being 1 1/4 by 2. And then the Balmy Blue piece again should be 2 1/8 by 1 3/8. So just a tiniest, you just want the tiniest little bit of that Balmy Blue showing around the edges there. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back side of this, and I'm going to avoid one corner. I want this corner to kind of overlap with that, so I'm going to avoid putting a dimensional there. I'm going to put it in the other 3 corners. so that we don't have it double lifted in a place where it doesn't need to be. And then in that corner that I don't want it lifted, I am going to add a little bit of adhesive right there so that it will still stick to my circle right there. Isn't that pretty? I love these colors. How do you guys feel about these colors? I think they're so fun. All right, so in the corner here, I'm going to go back to my petal park and just add some of those flowers right here in the corner. There we go. And then I'm going to go back to the leaves in my balmy blue and fill in the corner here. I think it goes kind of like that. Just have a little interest on the corner on the inside. Thanks, Dana. I love it too. Okay, so I did add a few embellishments to the outside of my card here. It's pretty, isn't it? The embellishments that I am using are called, right here, adhesive backed solid gems, and I'm using these boho blue ones. So I'm just going to grab that with my little take your pick tool. I'm going to add a little gem to the inside of each flower. I'm going to add a bigger one to the inside of this one. And then I added 2 of the little baby ones right here on my label. There we go. So, thank you. That's okay, Jeannie. You just missed we just finished the very first card here. So it says, be of good courage. And then the inside, I put that petal park flowers on the inside there. I love that one. Be of good courage. Be of good courage, Jeannie. Okay, so there is my first card. And of course, you'll get a kit to make 2 of those if you place an order with me. I'm going to move some things out of the way now that I no longer need and fold up my ink pads, and then we'll start on our second card. So my second card here is In Everything Give Thanks. I love this. I love the designer series paper that has the little birds and the flowers in the background. Isn't that so pretty? This is a swap card I make. That I made for a swap that I had last week. So I'm going to show you how I did that, okay? So I have this time a piece of Misty Moonlight designer series paper, and I have a striped pattern that comes from that Countryside Lane designer series paper. The other side is actually those birds that I'm using on the front panel. But this time I just want to use the stripes on the back side. So I'm just going to add some adhesive to the back side. I'm going to eyeball where my center is. And there we go. That's my card base, all right? Then I have 2 panels here. I have one. Thank you so much, Becky. I'm glad you're enjoying them. This is 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. So you can get 6 of these panels out of 1 sheet of cardstock. Cut it down the long ways at 4 1/4 and then across at 3 1/4. And then my designer series paper is cut 3 by 4. Now the nice thing about using a 3 by 4 panel is that you can get 12 of them out of 1 sheet of designer series paper, which means you can get a lot of cards made using designer series paper and be a little more efficient with those. All right, so I'm going to take this panel and add it right here to this boho blue designer series paper. Okay, then I have this Night of Navy ribbon So pretty. It has a linen feel in the center and like a satin feel on the ends. And it ties bows very nicely. So, I don't know how long this ribbon is. What I usually do, you guys know my rule of thumb. I do 1, 2, 3, 4, and just a little bit more. That's my rule of thumb. So I'm going to wrap this around this panel. And on the left side here, I'm going to tie a bow. So when I tie a bow, I always put the right over the left and make a V like that. And then I take the ribbon that's on top and fold it under. And then I pull them so they form 2 perpendicular lines, right like that, like a crisscross, okay? And so then I put my thumb where they're knotted together, and this is what I think is important. I put my finger underneath the bottom loop and I loop up from the bottom around with the top ribbon. I push it in, push a loop in, and pull it tight. And it makes, I guess you're gonna have to learn, Dana. What would you have told your students in school if they just said, I can't do math without your help? You would have said, you better learn because you won't always have me there with you, right? Oh, you're funny. Okay, so I'm just going to tie those ends, cut those ends off a little bit here. And then I'm going to use some dimensionals. I'm going to move this over to the left edge here, that bow, okay? And I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back side. I do try to tell, I do try to show you how I do mine every time I do a video, how I tie my bows, because I have very good luck with that method with my bows. Okay, so I'm adding dimensionals all over the back side of this panel. And I'm just going to pop that up right there in the center of my card, right like that, okay? Move it down just a little, there we go. And then I used my 2 3/8 inch circle punch. I don't know if this is available currently or not, but it is an online exclusive. It's 2 3/8. Now you could have used a 2 1/2. A 2 1/2 would have been fine for this, or any circle die that you have. So I'm taking one of those little floral leaves, and this is the one that has the more pointy leaves on it. I liked that because the leaves in this DSP are a little more pointy. And I'm going to use my Misty Moonlight, and I'm going to stamp one of these on this side. There we go. And then I'm going to flip it over and do it again on the other side there. There we go. Then I have my sentiment. In this case, it says, in everything, give thanks. This would make a beautiful thank you card, right? So I'm going to go back to my boho blue, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment right in between both of those bows right there. You know what? I am not crazy about that. I did my bow a little too close to my work. So we're going to do that again. And this time I am going to stamp my words first. And then I will know where to put the bows, okay? So let's go back to, no, let's keep with this one. My boho blue, I'm going to do the words first now. Sometimes everyone can learn from my mistakes, right? Okay, there we go. And everything, give thanks. And then with the Misty Moonlight. I'm going to go back to my bows and make sure I stamp them a little bit better this time. So I'm going to ink that up. Make sure I'm not overlapping my words. There we go on that side. And then I'm going to do the same thing. There we go on this other side. Isn't that pretty? Now, you could do a lot of things here. You could color those leaves in. If you wanted, you could use some Wink of Stella. I'm using Wink of Stella on my next card, so I don't think I'm going to use it on this one. And now all I need to do, you guys, is pop this up right on top of that center panel. You know, the Designer Series paper, it really is pretty. So don't feel like you need to cover it up a lot. Let it shine. There's just something, I don't know what to say. It just makes me feel happy when I look at this paper. So, in everything, give thanks. There we go. And then I just took some of these iridescent gems, maybe my favorite, and I just sprinkled them on kind of around. So I did a big and a medium up here, and then a small one just right down here in the corner right there. Isn't that pretty? And then on the inside, I'm just taking that bow and I'm going to stamp it across the bottom edge. So my sister-in-law came last week on Monday, and then my sister came on Friday, and then Jim's brother and his wife came on Saturday. So we had a lot of guests here throughout the week. All right, so there we go. I'm going to stamp, add that to the inside of my card right there. There we go. So pretty, right? So in everything, give thanks. That is card number 2 of the 3 that you will get in your kit. And remember, you get enough to make 2 of those cards. So that's fun. All right, so that one goes to the side now. And now we'll do our last. And I think you guys are going to love, love, love this card. Okay, so this one says, may the Lord bless you and keep you. Isn't that so pretty? I used that white glittered ribbon, but I'm also going to show you can also use the boho blue ribbon that's also available right now. I don't know. I really liked the sparkle on this ribbon, so I'm just going to slide it down, and then the panel will open like this and like this. So it's a joyfold card, but it opens vertically. Isn't that pretty? I tell you, it's not hard to make pretty cards with this beautiful paper and the sentiments in this stamp set. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I made this card, give you some measurements. All right, so I have a piece of boho blue cardstock, and it is 8.5. Pretty sure it's 8.5. Here, let me get my ruler. Yep, that's what I love about it, is because it's an 8.5, so it's the length of a normal piece of cardstock by 4.25. Okay, 4.25, and then you're going to score it at 3. Score it at 3 inches right there. Okay, score it at 3. There we go. That is our card base. All right, I have a piece of Designer Series paper that's 4 inches by 5.25 inches, and I use that pretty stripe. I really like that one. This side is pretty too. It would be pretty, but I felt like it might be a little too much for the front of the inside of my card based on what's going on in the front. Sorry, I need to shut my door real quick, so give me just a second. All right. Okay, so now That is going to be my card base. On the front of my card base here, I cut a piece of that designer series paper that is that more floral. It's the opposite side of the stripe. And I'm just going to attach it right here to the front of that shorter panel. And it is cut 4 inches by 2 3/4 inches. 4 inches by 2 3/4 inches. So it'll fit right inside this panel, this front panel right here. There we go. So that is our card base, basically. Okay, then you need another piece of paper, and I'm using Misty Moonlight, and this is cut 8 inches by 3 inches, and then I scored it down the middle at 4 inches, okay? 3 inches by 8 inches, scored down the middle at 4 inches. And then I have a piece of white for the inside. I have a circle for the sentiment, but I also have a embossing folder, and it coordinates with this whole Countryside Lane suite. It's part of the suite. I can't remember the name right now. I'm so sorry. But I'm going to take a panel that is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, and I'm going to run it through on my Big Shot with this embossing folder, and that's just going to add some texture and just real beauty to the front of that card. It's okay if you don't get it perfectly centered. I do try my best, but it's just really there to add texture to the background. Okay, so I'm going to pull in my die cutting machine. This would be honestly a great thing to get in your starter kit if you were thinking about getting that, because it costs $120. So you can get the die cutting machine with a couple of embossing folders or a die set, and you are good to go. You get all that for $99. Okay, so I ran that through, and I'm going to add this embossed piece. Isn't that so pretty? I'm going to add it to the front of my card. Now, what you got to remember with this inside panel is that the score line is going to go to the top. So that way it's going to open this way, okay? So I'm going to add some adhesion to my card front, and I don't like to press into my embossed piece because I feel like sometimes you can press out the embossing, and that always makes me nervous. Okay, so that is that. I've got another piece here of Whisper White, and I thought I had a small little piece of, here we go, right here, of that designer series paper, and I'm just going to run it along the edge right here. In fact, I might cut it down just a little bit more to a 1/2 inch here instead of 3/4 inch. There we go. And I'm going to add that to the inside. I just flipped it. Where did it go? Here we go. So you could use either side you wanted. I'm going to use the striped side. I'm just going to put it right down this long vertical edge over here, just to add a little color and interest to the inside of the card as well. Snip that little edge off the bottom. Okay, and then I can adhere this to my card inside. There we go. Now this joy fold is going to open up like this. So I want this panel, this folded panel, to be centered right here on the inside of my card base, okay? So I'm going to add some strong adhesive. I'm using CL Plus. It's my strong adhesive of choice. Sometimes I have to use tear and tape. But I'm just going to make sure I get that really centered. There we go. Press on that. And there we go. That is going to be my card base, okay? Now, this is a large stitch circle. It's the largest, Dana, of the stitched circles from the Stylish Shapes dies. It's the largest one. And on this, I'm going to stamp in Misty Moonlight. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Isn't that pretty? And then I am going to use my boho blue again to stamp my bows on either side. Now, the bows come in a set of 2 like this, and you know what? I didn't do such a bad job of that, but I'm gonna place where I want these bows. I want that one right there, and I want this one right here, but then I'm gonna pick them both up with one block like that. Isn't that fun? Okay, so that's just a little trick. If you have something that you can pick up more than one stamp, especially if you're stamping them in the same color like I am here. And then I'm just gonna go straight down on my circle and stamp. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so then I'm gonna take my Wink of Stella. Who doesn't love Wink of Stella? I don't know anyone who doesn't love Wink of Stella. Okay, I just had it here. So I was like, I need to pull that out. Here we go. And inside each of these leaves, I'm gonna use my Wink of Stella, and I'm just gonna add some shimmer and shine to the inside of all of those leaves. All those little dots there. And I'm going to turn it and do the same thing over here. I miss you guys too, Maxine. My team has been so sweet and sent me lots of cards of encouragement this last week, which has been fun. You know, they say it takes time, and I know it will, but I'm just enjoying the journey right now, so that's fun. So now I'm just going to place this. Isn't that pretty? Can you see the shimmer that Wink of Stella adds to that? I don't know if you can capture that on screen, but it is really pretty. Okay, I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back side of this. And put it right there. Isn't that pretty? Such a pretty sentiment. If you guys don't have Comfort and Faith stamp set yet, you should get it. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be your person. 2, 3, 4, and a little bit more, right? Okay, so wait a minute. I was going to show you what it looks like with the other ribbon, and you guys can decide. Okay, so I was trying to decide. This is the boho blue ribbon, and I tried them both, and then we can vote here. So this is the boho blue ribbon. It's a little thicker. It's still very pretty. It does really bring out the boho blue in the paper. So I tried this one. This is the boho blue, okay? Tried that one, and I just tied it in a knot because I thought it would be too heavy with a bow. Or this one is the iridescent, the white organdy glittered ribbon. So which one do you like best? Do you have a favorite? Let me know in the comments which one you like. I like the shimmery white, Dana says. They're both very pretty, and the person who you give it to would like it either way, right? So I am still undecided. I know my friend Jeannie said, show them the boho blue so that they at least can see that you could use the boho blue with it as well. So Maxine likes the boho blue. Jeannie likes the shimmery white. I think the shimmery white is harder to see, but it gives a little bling, right? The boho blue really brings out the boho blue in the paper and in the stamp set. So both of them are beautiful, okay? So those are our 6 cards for this week. I hope you love them. I really enjoyed designing them and bringing them to you. So there's the last 2. Yes, Jeannie, good point. I forgot to mention that. If you like the organdy white shimmer ribbon, it is only available in the online store. I mean, I can order it for you on an order, but don't think you're going to find it in the catalog because it's not there. It's only in the online exclusives right now, okay? And then here are the cards we made. So if you place a $35 order, thanks Teresa. If you place a $35 order or more, you will get a kit to make 6 cards just like these. If you place a $50 order, you will get an extra package of embellishments to go with your kit, okay? So I think I already listed the host code in the description, but if I haven't, I will go back and do that. Hi, Judy. I like both of them too. Yeah, it's kind of hard, isn't it? The white is hard to see. It doesn't give much contrast, but the boho blue definitely does. So if you want a kit, you can tell me which one you want, the boho blue or the organdy white ribbon in there. Okay, so I'm going to lift my camera back up so I can say a proper goodbye. You know how I love to do this. Flip everything back around. And I once again, sorry about my cold again. Hopefully we can get figured out what's going on with me here, but I'm always grateful and thankful for those of you that come and watch me. I will also put this video up on YouTube here in just a little bit. So if you want to re-watch it for the measurements and the cuts and make any of these cards on your own, it will be there for your reference. If you would like to place a $35 or more order so that you can get this kit sent to you for free in the mail, go to my online store, TuddleUpShop.com. I'll put my little piece of paper up here, and there's the host code. Or you can always email me at judyltuttle@gmail.com, and I would be happy to place your order for you. So God bless everyone. Hopefully some of you will jump on with me on Zoom tonight. I'll put that link on the page here a little bit later this afternoon. So God bless. See you soon. Bye-bye.